Good afternoon, and I welcome you students for another amazing session on metals and non-metals. We will be beginning the session with little bit of warm-up exercises so that our blood circulation becomes good, energy levels are improved, and if we are feeling sleepy or exhaustive, we should get rid of all the stress which is present in the body. So what we are going to do, these are our 10 fingers. Inhale, close, exhale, open 10 times. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. Release your hands. Release your hands. Release the stress, stiffness from the body. Release it, release it, release it. Shake your hand, shake your hand. Rotate your hands clockwise, anti-clockwise. Just relieve all the stress which is present in your hands. These hands are very, very good and useful for us. We write with these hands all the notes which you are making. Okay, come back. Now we can inhale and exhale Vastrika 10 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, come back. Come back. Shoulder, release the shoulders. Some stress is there. Spinal cord should be erect when you study. When you study, you fall like this, student. There will be pain on the back side. Release the stiffness. Release the pain, stress from the neck and from the shoulders. Come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, come back. Neck. Release the stress from the neck. Neck is very important. Neck is very important. There is neck muscles. You see the muscles of the neck should be relaxed when we study. There should be no stress in them. So what do we do? Right hand. Inhale. And stretch to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Come back. Left hand. Breathe in. Stretch to the left side, neck, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back. Exhale. Breathe out. So breathe in, breathe out is very important when we do these. So now we will rotate the neck. Right, left. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Up, inhale, down, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now neck rotation 3 times clockwise, 3 times anti. Half inhale, half exhale. 1, 2, 3. Now anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Okay, come back. Stress has been removed. Tap your feet on the ground 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now our energy level is high. Energy has been improved and stress out. Now we will do some breathing in order to relieve and relax the mind. Release the distractions, negative energies from the mind. That's very, very important. So what will we do, students? We will inhale from the left nostril and exhale from the left. Then we will inhale from the right, exhale from the left. We can make what we call as a Vishnu mudra. You can see these 2 fingers I am closing, and I will close my right nostril. Inhale from the left as deeply as possible. Exhale from the left. Then I will close the left. Inhale from the right and exhale from the right as deeply inhale as possible. The right, I am making a mudra, Chin mudra. Chin mudra is the mother of all the mudra. Chin mudra. These mudra are important. They connect to the various nerves of the body and provide us relaxation and immunity. Okay. Now you will close your eyes, sit comfortably, relax your body. Your feet should be touching the ground, and we will start. I am closing my right nostril, inhale from the left and exhale from the left. Exhale. Close the left nostril, breathe in from the right and breathe out from the right. Close the right nostril, breathe in from the left as deeply as possible and breathe out from the left. Breathe out slowly. Close the left nostril, breathe in from the right as deeply as possible. Breathe out slowly from the right. Last time, breathe in from the left as deeply as possible. Breathe out from the left. Come back, relax. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Observe your breath. Inhale, exhale. Keep breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep inhaling and exhaling. Experience the vibrations taking place in your body. Fold your hands. Attitude of gratitude is very important. Prayer and thanks to the God, thanks to the universe for all the beautiful things we are having. And you can rub your two hands slowly, then faster. Healing energy, heat energy, like a field of the magnet, put it on your face. Keep inhaling, exhaling. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the healing energy flow throughout the entire body. Gentle massage. Massage your forehead, eyes, face, chin, nose, ears, neck, head, and gently you can open your eyes with smiles. 1, 2, 3, come back. Why do we do all these things? You are very clear students. I don't want students to be exhausted. I don't want students to fall down or sleep while they are studying. We must be having a lot of energy when we study. You should take sufficient amount of food, glucose or whatever, so that you have plenty of energy in the body when you study. The mind works on glucose. If mind doesn't have that, it will fall and sink down. At the same time, when we do some exercises, we are able to lift our energy levels. Higher the energy, more is our learning. And we breathe in, breathe out to exhale the distractions, to negative thoughts from the mind. The relaxed state of mind is the state of mind when you learn maximum. And we always set up an intention before we begin our session that yes, we will focus and concentrate on the lesson. And we set up a target also that we are going to study the properties of ionic compounds. I hope you are ready. Tell me students, are you ready? Guru, yes or no? Ready? You got energy?
Yes, sir.
Notebooks, pen, pencils, relaxed mind. Okay. Colored pens, make good notes. These are important for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and colleges and other classes. Also, you will find our notes and YouTube video lectures are already uploaded. They will be helping you wherever you go, whether India or you go to any country. They will be of great help. Learn the things, pay attention, focus, concentrate. That's how the players of the Olympics are doing. Dedication, commitment, willpower, strength, determination, consistency, training, practice. Every day they do it. Every day they do it. It's not that they will do for a few days and break it. No, habits, all this, so that we learn.
and practice and do a lot of question answer sessions which are helping us. Okay, we are coming back to the session, student. First of all, we studied in the previous lecture what are ionic compounds. Can you tell me what are ionic compounds, students? What are ionic compounds? How they are formed? What is the answer? What are ionic compounds? What we studied about that, student, last time? Ionic compounds. How they were formed, students? Ionic compounds are formed by the transfer of electrons. Yes or no? Keep be with me, students. Be with me. Participate with me. Learn as much as possible. So as more you learn, the more you participate, more you answer the question, the more you will learn. Stay focused. Pay attention. Transfer of electrons take place. Why that transfer of electron takes place? Why elements react? We told you last time. We have said that in the periodic table you have been shown metals, non-metals, and we have also shown you noble gases. What are noble gases, students? We showed you the noble gases. Can you give me names of few noble gases which we told you? We said helium, neon, argon, krypton, like that. So these are, you see that these elements are not reacting. Why they are not reacting? Why these elements are noble? Why these elements are not reacting, student? Why we call it they are inert? They are not reacting. What was the reason? Why these elements are called noble? Why they are inert? They have no tendency to react. What is the reason? What reason we gave you, students? Because what we found that their valence shell, the outermost shell, is stable, is completely filled. Is it that is correct answer? Yes or no? If the K shell is there, there are two electrons here two and in the LA. These are completely filled, student. Outermost shell completely filled. They have no tendency to gain or lose electrons. Therefore, they are not reacting. But when metal will react with non-metal, what will happen, student? We have shown you metals have a tendency to lose electrons, non-metals have a tendency to gain the electrons. The result is that if you form NaCl, what happens? You get something like this. This is positive, this is negative. So electron transfer takes place from sodium, which was 281. Sodium is 281, Cl is 287, students. So what happened? This electron is transferred from sodium to chlorine, and we have drawn the electron dot structures also. So the ionic compounds are formed when metals and non-metals combine. Is it true? Yes or no? Tell me fast. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So there are some positive charges, there are negative charges, as you can see. Now we want to study the properties of the ionic compounds. Properties of the ionic compound, student. What type of properties they will have? So what we can do, students, we can do an activity, we can do an experiment. Activity. We do activities, we do experiments in the science labs in order to study the properties. We will take samples of first. Take samples of sodium chloride, potassium iodide, barium chloride, or any other salt from the science laboratory. Okay? You can take these samples. Samples. What salts we are taking? They are saying NaCl, potassium iodide, formula I'm writing, barium chloride. These are the salts we have taken. What is the physical state of these salts? First, you find out the physical state. Can you tell me if you have seen them in the science lab? What is the physical state of these salts? Tell me, solid, liquid, or gas? What is the physical state? They are solids. These are solids, students. What we know about them? They are solids. Physical state. Third, what he is saying, take a small amount of sample in metal spatula and heat it directly on the flame. This is a figure. This is a spatula in the chemistry lab, spatula containing the sample. Have you seen spatula? Like a spoon, like a spoon. It is there in the science lab, chemistry lab. We are heating in the burner. Repeat with other sample. What did you observe? Do the sample impart any color, student? What we want to see? Are there any colors? Do you see any colors when you heat them, students? Any colors become visible to you when you heat them? Third, what did you observe? Fourth, try to dissolve samples in water. Fourth, what we are doing? Solubility in water. Do they dissolve in water? This we will take and dissolve. Next, he says make a circuit as shown in figure 3.8. In the NCRT, they have shown the activity and insert electrodes into a solution of one salt. What did you observe? Test the salt sample to this manner. What is the interference about the nature of these compounds? So what we are trying to study, student, what we are trying to study, then we are trying to study what do you mean by electrodes and the sample? Do they conduct, are they conduct electricity or not? All these we are trying to study. Conduction of electricity. So our activities, our experiment, we are studying these 5 important points. Student, 5 important points. So one you will do in the science lab, student, you will observe all this and then we will find out salts, colors, solubility and conduction. Note down, note down. This is a spatula, salt is heated, this is a burner. If you see any color in the flame, note down the color of the flame, color of the flame. All these things you note down. ठीक है? What do you find? This is the testing the conductivity of the solution. How will you test the conductivity of the solution? How do you test conductivity of salt solutions? Salt solution which you have taken. What salts you have taken? Whatever salts you have taken here, student. You have taken NaCl. This was dissolved in water. Then you have taken potassium iodide. You dissolve in water and barium chloride. What you did? Dissolve in water. Here are the 2 electrodes. 2 electrodes. These are the graphite rods. These are the electrodes. This is a salt solution. You can take first NaCl. This is what is this, student? These are the electric circuit which you have seen, battery. And here is a bulb and switch. When you will complete the circuit, what will happen? Can you tell me what will happen when you will complete the circuit? Will the bulb light up? Yes or no? Does the bulb light up? If I take NaCl, dissolve in water and complete the circuit, what will happen, student? Complete the circuit. Does the bulb glows? Yes or no? What do you think? This bulb will glow or not? I take NaCl in water. If I take any of these salts in water, salt solution, what we find? The bulb will glow. The bulb glows. What it means if the bulb glows? What is the meaning of this? That there is a conduction of electricity. Conduction of electricity through the solution. Through the solution. You have earlier seen metals conduct electricity. In your home, you have copper wire. Copper wire, copper is a metal. Electric current flows through the different electronic appliances which you are using. you are using different electronic appliances, and what you find, the electric current flows. Copper wire, copper is a good conductor of electricity, copper is a metal. Now in this case, what is happening, when I will put these salts in water, if I put sodium chloride in water, student, what you are having, you will form ions. What you form, ions in solution, and these ions can move, student. These are charged particles. So the charged particles like Na plus aqueous, Cl minus aqueous, student, they can move in the solution. What can happen? They can move in the solution. Okay, move in the solution. And when they move in the solution, student, they move towards the opposite electrodes. So when electricity is passed through the solution, what will happen? Due to the movement of the ions, due to movement of ions, in a solution, they can conduct electricity. They can conduct electricity. Important, note down, students. If I have solid NaCl, tell me, does it conduct electricity? Yes or no? What will happen? Students, if I take solid NaCl, does it conduct electricity? What is your answer? No. Solid NaCl does not conduct electricity. Does not conduct. But when I form ions in solution, when I put in solution, they form ions. These ions can move. As the ions move, it conducts electricity. As the ions move, it conducts electricity. Note down, student. This is an experiment. All these will form ions in the solution, and opposite ions will move towards the electrodes. Negative ion will move toward the positive electrode. Positive ion will move toward the negative electrode. When we will apply a battery, a potential difference, when we pass electric current, what will happen? Then the bulb will start glowing. Bulb will start glowing. So we can note down these activities, whatever we have done, and what we are doing, studying the properties of the ionic compounds, students. Properties of the ionic compound. Note down, student. Properties of the ionic compounds. Note down each and every point. You can sip water when you are studying. I say water, heal me. I sip water. I am not drinking a lot of water. I am only sipping. The water has a healing energy. It heals. Water has healing energy. It heals. Okay. Now we are coming to the important points what we are recording, students. From this experiment, then we record the melting and boiling points of the ionic compounds. This is a table. What are these? We have recorded the melting points and second, boiling points of some ionic compounds. Of some ionic compounds. Sodium chloride, lithium chloride, calcium chloride, calcium oxide, magnesium chloride. Melting points. Can you tell me, are these melting points high or low? What do you think? Do they have high melting point or low melting points? These are the melting points which are given in the book, student. We have taken it from your book. Do you think, are these melting points high or low? What is your answer, students? How much is that? It is in Kelvin, 1074 Kelvin. You use sodium chloride at home also, salt. Does it melt so easily? No, it has a very high
No,
melt.
sir.
So they have high or low melting points. What is our answer?
So they have high melting points.
They have high melting and boiling points. This is the observation. Observation. Okay, we will answer all these questions, student. Note down everything. Note down. It is 1074887. Calcium chloride 104. Calcium oxide is 2850. Very high melting point. Boiling points are also high, 1686. If you want to melt it, you see how much temperature is required. Very high temperature. Lithium chloride 1600, 1900. Very high. Or calcium oxide 2120, 3120. This is, see how high is the boiling point and melting point. Very high. You know what are these? Are ionic compound. They can be represented like this. Lithium chloride, calcium, you have 2 plus and 2 Cl minus. You have calcium 2 plus and oxygen 2 minus. You have Mg 2 plus. See that they are ionic compounds. There are ions which are present, and one ion will attract oppositely charged many ions. Similarly, positive will attract negative and negative will attract more positive ions. So they don't exist as discrete. We will see that they have a crystal structure. They have a crystal lattice. Aggregates. They form aggregates. So very high melting points are there. Okay. Note down. So the properties, when we talk of physical nature of the ionic compound, what is the physical nature of ionic compound? Solid, liquid, or gas? What is the physical nature? They are solids. What we find? NaCl is solid, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride. They are hard. What we find? They are hard. Why they are solids and hard? What is the reason? They have strong electrostatic force. They have strong electrostatic force of attraction between positive ions and negative ions. Between positive and, there are positive ions and negative ions. Important point. Electrostatic force, charged particles, it is high, so they are attracting each other very strongly. Then what will happen? These compounds will become brittle. What is the meaning of brittle? What is brittle? A solid is soft, a solid is brittle. Can brittle substances be turned into sheets and wires? Tell me yes or no. Metals were malleable and ductile. Ductile means wires were formed and sheets were obtained. Malleable and ductile. They are brittle. What do you mean by brittle, students? Can we form sheets and wires of them? Yes or no? If I have ionic solids, they are brittle. What it means? If I apply the pressure, when pressure is applied, what will happen, students? They will break into pieces. They will break into pieces. That is what I mean by brittle. It is a brittle. Clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
All right. Note down every point is important. That will be in the question papers. Now we coming to the second point, student, melting and boiling points. This was my first point, physical nature, which will mean if they are solid, liquid, or gases. What we learn about the melting and boiling point, I have shown you a table of this. This is the melting and boiling points. What it shows, students? They are having high or low melting or boiling points.
So high melting and boiling points.
High melting and what we are talking? Ionic compounds. We are discussing the properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds, students. That means there are ions, positive and negative ions. Positive and negative ions. High melting and boiling points. Very good. Very good. Note down. What is the reason for that? Because they have strong inter ionic attractive forces holding oppositely charged ions. Holding oppositely charged ions. If the attractive force is very strong, students, then what will happen? Large amount of energy will be required to separate them or to break them. ठीक है? To break or separate the ions. Clear? Very important point. This question is important. They will ask you in the paper. Note down. Force of attraction is strong between oppositely charged particle. You want to break it, then only it will melt. And then that will need lot of energy because the attractive force is ionic, electrostatic is strong. Note down, students, everything important. Everything important. Note down. Next, students, solubility. First, I will test the solubility in water. You know, water is the most important solvent. You are drinking, I am drinking. This is my water. Water heal me, I sip. Tell me, why do you drink water? Why do you drink water? Can you tell me? You are a science student. You have so many minerals, nutrients, ions. You have calcium, you have magnesium, you have potassium, so many things inside your body. And those particles, you are saying they dissolve in water. They dissolve in water. And 70% of your body is water. Am I right or wrong? Tell me yes or no. Chika, if
Yes,
any
sir.
doubt is there, you can talk with me. Participate. You know, you are learner. You're learning everything. I take science of life, health, fitness, body, and this science, everything is connected. And these things are connected in our daily life because we are drinking all this, eating all this. So the question is, which compounds will dissolve in water and which will not dissolve in water? Tell me, are these ionic compounds soluble in water? Yes or no? What is your answer, students? They are also called electrovalent compound. Electrovalent or ionic compounds. Examples we have already given you. NaCl, you have just seen MgCl2. So many compounds we have listed here. Okay? CaCl2, all this, potassium chloride. These are ionic compounds. Students, are they soluble in water? Yes or no? What is your answer? Are soluble in water. Why? Water is a polar solvent. Water is polar solvent and those which are plus minus charges, they dissolve in water. The rule is like dissolves like. I am just mentioning a word, like dissolves like in chemistry, student. So these compounds are soluble in water. Ionic compounds are soluble. Covalent compounds are not soluble in water. Ionic compounds are soluble. There is another solvent which is used. Water is the best solvent which we are using. You have seen. Second, if I test the solubility, okay, so I am saying they are generally, water is a polar solvent. They are generally, word is used, student, because there will be some exceptions. I use a word generally because there will be some exceptions to what we say always in science, in chemistry, in physics, everywhere. So, okay, note down, generally they are soluble. Solubility in petrol, there is a solvent, kerosene, and I am saying some non-polar solvents. You know, student, what is a solvent? What is a solvent? We told you the definition. When we dissolve something, solute are dissolved in solvents, then we say it is a solvent. For example, these are the water is a solvent, petrol, kerosene, and there could be benzene or some other compounds in chemistry which are non-polar. Which are water is polar, I am saying. Water is polar, it dissolves ionic compounds. These compounds, will they dissolve in non-polar solvents? I'm saying they are generally ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are generally insoluble. Insoluble in petrol or kerosene. Note down. That means they will not dissolve in petrol or kerosene. Clear? Noted everything, students? So we can say solubility of ionic compounds. Next property we are studying is conductance of electricity of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds, student. If I take sodium chloride salt, which is available at your home in the solid form, if I take NaCl solid form, student, tell me, does it conduct electricity? Do you get electric current out of it? Does it conduct electricity? Yes or no? Does it conduct electricity? In solid state, first point. So I am writing it. In solid state, they do not conduct electricity. Note down why they do not conduct electricity in solid state. They will ask this question to you. Because there are no free ions in the solid state. Okay? Because the ions are held up. The ions are held up, strongly with each other in the solid state. Because the ions are not free, they cannot move. In solid, ions are not free. Not free. You know that they have rigid structure. And if free ions are not available, there will be no conduction of electricity. This is the first point. Second, molten, in molten state. What is a molten state, students? What do you mean by molten state? Tell me. I am taking sip of water. What is a molten state? You heat and melt. When it is molten. You know the melting point is very high. You have seen melting point of NaCl is very high. NaCl is how much? Melting point? Melting point how much? 1074 Kelvin. At this temperature, it will melt. Molten, it will become melt. Now the question is, when I melt it, will it show conductivity? Yes or no? Tell me, in molten state, will it conduct electricity? Yes or no? What is your answer? In molten state, students, what will happen? It will conduct electricity. You have heated and melted. Therefore, the ions are free to move. Ions can move freely. Important question I am telling you. This has been asked in the paper. Ions can move freely, students. Note down, very important. Note down. Third, a solution of NaCl in water. Solution of NaCl in water. What will happen? I'm saying NaCl aqueous. Will it conduct? Tell me yes or no. If I take a solution of NaCl in water, will it conduct electricity? Yes or no, students? Will the ions be free? Solution of NaCl in water will conduct electricity. Why? Because ions are free to move. Ions free to move. This is very important. Note down, students. Note down all this. Very important. Properties of the ionic compounds. Properties of the ionic compound, students. Very important. Note down. Then we will proceed further, students. Noted? Then I will proceed further.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Important questions are coming now. Top question number 1. Write down the electron dot structures for sodium, oxygen, and magnesium, student. Top question number 1. You have 1 to 2 minutes to write the answer. Electron dot structures are very important. They will be asked in the question paper. Very important. How to draw the electron dot structure, students. Electron dot structures. Very important questions are coming. You have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. What is the atomic number of sodium, students? Atomic number of sodium. Be with me. Be with me. Participate with me. We will learn everything. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11.
So 11.
What is the electron configuration?
281.
How many electrons are there in the valence shell? Outermost one.
1.
How will I represent 1 dot? Oxygen. What is the atomic number of oxygen?
So 16.
That is not the atomic number of oxygen. That is a mass number. I am saying atomic number. Atomic number of oxygen, students. 8. Yes or no? Verify.
Yes, sir.
Then what is the electron configuration? 2 and how many electrons will be there in the L shell?
Sir, 6.
6. Then how you will show? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. What is the next one? Magnesium. What is the atomic number of magnesium, students?
Sir, 12.
12. What is the electron configuration?
Sir, 282.
How many electrons in the outermost?
Sir, 2.
So how will you show 2 electron dots? Clear? Any doubt? Important question. This will be asked
No,
in the
sir.
paper. All right. I thank you, students. You understand everything. He says, show the formation of Na2O and MgO by transfer of electron. Very important question for the exam. Top question number 2. You have 2 minutes to answer the question. Let us see the formation of Na2O. You have sodium 281, 1 electron. You have oxygen, how much? 2, 4, 6. That is 2, 6. How many electrons are needed by the oxygen? 2 electrons, and this has 1. So there will be 1 more sodium. This gives 1 electron. This gives 1 electron. 2, 8, 1. What is happening? Transfer of electrons. What will be the result of this? You will have 2Na and A2 plus, and you have O2 minus. Then you have this 8 electrons, 2 minus. There are 2 Na. So this is how we get the formation of Na2O. Transfer of 2 electrons is taking place. So you get the formation of Na2O. Clear? How will you show the formation of magnesium oxide? What is magnesium? 282. So this will become 28 and this will also become 28. What is the electron dot structure of magnesium? How many electrons? 2. Oxygen 2, 6. I may show it by some cross. No problem. How many? 6 cross. 6 electron in the outermost shell. It needs how many electrons? Oxygen. Transfer of electrons. How many will be transferred?
Sir, 2.
1 and 1, 2. What will you get? Mg28 2 plus, and oxygen will become 28 2 minus. Right? So how much you get here now? How will you write, student? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can show it like this. Here also you can show it like this if you want. Okay. So what you get is MgO. Important question for the exam, student. This question will be asked to you. Note down everything. Very important question. This question has been asked many times in the exam, students. They will ask you again. We have done other question also, NaCl, MgCl2, CaCl2, all these can be asked. They can also ask questions. You can do the homework. Show the formation of MgCl2, NaCl and CaCl2. You can do this later on in your homework. Homework, note down. Show the formation by the transfer of the electrons. Important questions we are giving so that in the exam there is no difficulty. Next question, top question number 3, student. What are the ions present in these compounds? What are these compounds I am talking of? Na2O and MgO. What are the ions in this? You have two Na plus, O2 minus, and in this is Na2O. And what is in magnesium oxide, students? What is the valency here? You know how the compounds are formed, 2 plus and O2 minus. Clear? What are the ions present? Here the in Na2O ions present. In the exam you have to show it. Clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Very good. So fast you are understanding everything. Top question number 2. Why do ionic compounds have high melting point, students? This is very important question. They have asked it many times. You have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. Why do they have? Why do ionic compounds have high melting point? What is your answer, student? Have high ionic compounds. Why do they have high melting points? Have high melting points because what is your answer?
So because they are held together by electrostatic
Force
forces
of
between
attraction.
oppositely charged ions.
Because of the strong force of attraction. ठीक है? Between the positive and negative ions. And the negative ions. देखो, what you write in exam is important. You may know the answer, you may not be able to write it. So you be careful and note down the answers very clearly. This is what you have to write in the paper. They have high melting point because of strong force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. These are the top questions, student, which we have been answering, and you have noted down everything. Do you have any doubt in this chapter now? Metals and non-metals. Completed with all the questions. And next time we are going to discuss all the questions from the NCERT book and some exemplar questions which will be there in the coming exam, half-yearly exam, because 10th board has been divided in 2 parts, one half and other half. So we'll do MCQ question also, which are important for the first half. So next lecture, next will be a question answer sessions, so you revise completely your chapter of metals and non-metals, so that we can discuss all the questions in the NCERT book and in the exemplar, and other MCQ important questions will be discussed. Is it clear? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Your notes should be very good. You should be able to get 100% because you are solving each and every question, and easily you can answer because now we have solved each and everything. Okay, then I will see you in the next class, and keep on subscribing the channel and get all the answers of all questions from us and forward it to your friends so that they can take the benefit of this course and can score high and full marks in the coming examinations. These marks are important. You have seen this year the marks of 10th, 11th were counted for the 12th class. So students, you get prepared and try to score 100% marks in the coming board papers. so that your foundation is strong and you will be able to do very good in 11th, 12th and other classes. Bye bye. Then I see you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.